It's warm out here.
How's Trent Widmer doing in his MRI recovery? All that.
Trent's, he's on the trip, but he's not going to be able to pitch this week, and we'll take a hard look at it next week and see. Hopefully, it's not going to require surgery, and that we can rehab it normal circumstances. I'm just not sure how quickly he'll be able to get back, Wilson. I'm not very optimistic that it'll be before the end of the season.
Is it the same with Caleb and Jaden? I saw them get on the bus.
Yeah. We see the
I mean, you don't expect them to pitch this
SEC tournament is different than like a regular season series because you're allowed to have 30 active players, but you can bring your entire 35-man roster if you want to. It's just that only 30 can be in the dugout and dressed out. So I'm bringing Caleb and Trent as like extra guys just to, Trent's been such a vital player to our team, and I wanted him to continue his rehab with our trainer. Caleb, we had hoped that maybe he could be active. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to, but he's, I just wanted him to be with the team, as a senior and all that he's given to the program. Jaden, up until 2 or 3 days ago, we were hopeful that he would be able to pitch at least a little bit in the tournament, but he didn't feel quite as good as Cole Henry has felt, so he won't pitch this weekend. But we're still holding out hope that maybe next week or the week after, just don't know. So we're taking 32 people, but we really only have 29 available because those 3 guys won't be able to play. Some people say that, we're going to host anyway, but I wouldn't feel confident about that. And I don't even know if 1 win will do it, honestly. The thing is, I don't know if 3 wins will do it. The selection committee has never been very transparent, as you know, and they make their decisions behind closed doors. And the other thing that you have to remember, it's not just what we do, but what about all the other teams that are hosting candidates? What do? Texas A&M, for example, they stake claim to being as worthy to host as we do, and I can understand why. Their RPI is a few spots ahead of us. Now, we have a better conference record, and we beat them head-to-head. I don't know, but if they lose to Florida tomorrow morning and we win 3 games, maybe that moves us ahead of them. But, how about a Cal Santa Barbara who's got a great record, but they haven't played a single game against a top 50 RPI team? How does the committee look at that? I have no idea. I'm not knocking anybody here. I'm just saying that there's a lot of factors to consider, and you just have to trust that the selection committee does the right thing. And I hope we host. I hope for our fans' sake. I'd rather be here for the regional, but if it doesn't happen, then we'll make an adventure out of it and go somewhere else. It's a lot of pressure, man. You're out there and you're like 5.5, 6 hour drive to play 1 game and turn around and go home. No, thank you. Let's win that first game so we can stay here for a while. Then you're guaranteed 2 more games. If we won and everybody else won that was supposed to win, we'd play Mississippi State and Vanderbilt in the next 2 games. Now, those are great RPI games, and if we're fortunate enough to have success, that would certainly give us a boost and enhance our chances of hosting. And maybe most importantly, it gives Walker and Marceau a chance to pitch a game so that we keep them on schedule for the following weekend. So it seems like a daunting task to have to win 5 or play 6 games. So I try not to let the guys think about that. Let's just take it 1 game at a time. The first goal is to not have to come back after Tuesday's game. Then the second goal is to win at least 2 games, and then you hope from there, you can move towards winning it all.
If it was an elimination game, would you consider moving Walker up a day?
If it was an elimination game, like the season would come to an end?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Even still, Glenn, I don't think I would. I see other schools are. Florida's pitching their #1 starter. I mean, it's not an inconceivable concept to pitch a guy on 4 days rest. I would never knock anybody for doing it. I just don't know if Eric Walker would bounce back quickly enough and have enough stuff to be successful.
How much?
And I feel real confident about what we're doing tomorrow night. I wanted Cole Henry to get back out there before the NCAA tournament, if at all possible. And then, the guys that we're going to pitch after him are going to be our best bullpen guys that are available.
How much
weight do you think the committee puts into the postseason tournament, Coach?
The conference tournament?
Yeah.
I think they put a lot of weight into it. Yeah, it's gotten us national seeds before by winning it. And it's knocked some people out of, getting considered for an at-large bid or whatever. So I think there's a lot of stock they place into it. It's nice to know that you have a bid. Last year was unbelievable pressure because we had to beat Mississippi State on Tuesday to even have a chance to be in the NCAA tournament, and then maybe had to win another game or two, which we ended up winning. What did we win, 4 last year there? So there was no question we were going to get a bid after the tournament, but our performance at the tournament got us a bid. Yeah, Cole Henry is going to start tomorrow night, and feel really good about it, Jacques. He's missed 5 weekends, and he's gone through the whole rigors of rehab and seeing doctors and going through the throwing routines and so forth. I wish he had maybe 1 more week of the prep stuff, but we don't have that luxury, and I'd really like to see him pitch in a game before the NCAA tournament. But if he can go out there tomorrow night and pitch, I don't think he'd pitch past 3 innings, and that would only be if his pitch count is well under control. But if he can go out there and throw 3 innings and say 50 pitches or less, and he's got good command and he looks like the old Cole Henry, then I could see next weekend in the NCAA tournament him being ready to go maybe 5 innings. And that gives us 3 bona fide starting pitchers for next weekend, which would be an awesome thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I mean, if he does well, you're feeling good about Morso, you're feeling good about Walker, and then throw him in there.
I mean, that's not as good as if we had Jaden Hill and some of the other guys, but at this point, with what we've dealt with all year, it would be a real shot in the arm to have Cole Henry back. And if you're fortunate enough to get past next weekend to the Super Regional, then perhaps he could even go further than that. And so when he got hurt, he was probably our most reliable starting pitcher. And now we've seen Landon Marceau come on, and Walker's been doing great. So you feel a lot better. And your bullpen, despite the home run that Zach gave up the other day, Zach's been awesome for us. And Peterson's throwing good, Fontenot's throwing good. So all of a sudden, you're starting to feel like you got a pitching staff that can compete on a weekend series or a weekend tournament. Everybody always seems to want to place the blame on somebody, and the game of baseball is a game that's so up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't know why everybody always needs to blame somebody. It's just the way baseball is. Somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. The hitter's going to win or the pitcher's going to win. Somebody's going to win every confrontation. And I think it's huge of Zach to do that. I'm not surprised that he would do something like that. Nobody's more angry, that he didn't finish the save than he is. But I don't want him blaming himself, to be honest with you. I want him confident and cocky and just say, hey, today wasn't my day, and next time I'll get the job done. That's all I want to hear. It does no good for people to be blamed or for people to take the blame. They just need to be ready the next time. That's all. What's done is done.
What do you think the change has been with Duplantis in the last 4 or 5 games?
Duplantis? Yeah, he's swinging the bat good, and I'm only surprised when he doesn't swing the bat good. The guy's had an unbelievable career, and he's finishing with a flourish, and hopefully he'll lead us to the promised land. We can't do it without him, I can tell you that.
He's approaching some big numbers, all-time numbers, and he talks about, I just have to take
I don't even want him to think about that. I just want him to get 4 hits tomorrow night and drive in about 4 runs and us beat South Carolina and then turn the page to the next day. If he does that instead of thinking about breaking Eddie's record, then the game has enough pressure in just the way the game is played than to worry about those kinds of things. So I'm glad that as he's approaching the record, it's in such meaningful games that it'll distract him away from worrying about the record. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay,
All right,
guys,
Coach.
let me get the Hoover.
Thank you.
Thank you.